Hey everyone, and welcome back to week 7 of my Achilles recovery journey. Once again, I am Dr. Stacy Barber, also known as the Physio Fix. So let's just jump straight to it. Week 7 was pretty exciting because I transitioned into a shoe full-time. So I just got back from my trip, as I discussed in my last episode, and then the very next day, the boot was rubbing on my incision a lot, so I decided to just make the executive decision to go ahead and transition into a shoe. But normal shoes weren't very comfortable, so I have been wearing my Birkenstocks. So these are great because they don't have this the back, of a shoe, and so then they don't rub on my incision all day long. So I've been wearing these pretty much non-stop. Highly recommend, and definitely get this kind, guys, because you can still wear a sock in it, and that's really comfortable too, especially since I'm still wearing compression socks. So these are crucial right now. I also tried to wear some tennis shoes for a couple different times throughout this week. And every time I did, it would rub on my incision, and then my incision would get really irritated, and sometimes it would even start bleeding. So I know this is going to be like a gradual transition into shoes, but I am wearing shoes right now. I'm just not wearing tennis shoes right now. So the first day, I would say last Monday, I wore my shoes for probably about, these Birkenstocks for probably about 4 hours that day. And I was barefoot for the rest of the day, and I didn't wear my boot at all. And then Tuesday, when I came into work, I brought my boot with me just in case I needed to put it on, but I didn't ever end up putting it on at all because the boot is actually way more irritating to my incision than anything else is. So I'm trying to avoid using the boot if I can, and everything is going pretty well. I would say that the worst thing this week was swelling, because with just more movement of the foot, you're getting more blood circulating to the foot, and being up on my feet all day long working with patients means that by the end of the day my leg is very swollen. It's very red. It's red hot to the touch. It's visibly red, and you can just tell that everything is super swollen. So I've tried to ice as much as I can at the end of the day, and I also have been elevating my leg, but still every single day, halfway throughout the day, everything is pretty swollen again, and I don't really have the ability at that point to elevate my legs. So I just have to kind of tough it out and wait till I get home before I can actually do anything about it. So this was a really good week. I was actually able to, for the first time ever, put on my Olympic weightlifting shoes, which alone made me feel semi-normal, and I was able to do some back squats or box squats. Just with 83 pounds, nothing crazy, but I wasn't shifting at all, which was super exciting, and it felt really good just to be in my shoes again and to be lifting at least a little bit of weight. That day I did really good. That was Thursday. I did really good with all my exercises. I did a good lower body workout day, and everything felt really good. But then after Thursday, on Friday, I definitely had probably the worst day that I've had in a while, because me, like everyone else, got overly ambitious, and on the good days I pushed it a little bit too hard, and I really should have cut back and not done as much on Thursday, and maybe I would have been feeling a little bit better on Friday. Therapy this week has been pretty good. I did 3 days of therapy, so I did Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Monday went really well. It was just a little bit of swelling from my trip. I just got back on Sunday, so everything was just a little swollen that day and stiff, but overall pretty good. And then Thursday was really good because I didn't have any patients on Thursday, and I was actually able to elevate my leg for quite a bit of the day. So therapy went really well, exercises went really well. We're doing a lot more things for balance and a lot more things for range of motion. We didn't check my range of motion on Thursday, which I wish we would have, because I bet it was at least 20 degrees of dorsiflexion. And then on Friday, since I did so much on Thursday, it was a terrible day. My incision was bleeding from the moment that we started therapy that day. And everything was very swollen. It was really hard for me to balance, and it just felt like I couldn't even use my muscle to the same extent that I've been able to use it. I mean, it's not been going great anyways, but I would say overall I've been able to do a lot more. And then on Friday, it was just every single thing that I was asking my foot to do, it was nope, not doing it, and I kept trying to push through it, but at a certain point, when your incision is bleeding while you're doing exercises, it's really not worth it anymore. So I just kind of cut therapy short on Friday, and I've spent a lot of time this weekend elevating my foot and icing, and I think everything is like looking a lot better now. I can show you guys. You guys can see my incision. I'll throw up a picture right here. I took a picture today of it. It just shows that there's like obviously some scabbing, you know, and it's good that it's scabbing over, that it's not bleeding anymore. But it's still going to be a long time until I can like wear shoes all the time, like tennis shoes. And it's also going to be a while until I can get a pedicure, which sucks. A couple other things this week, other than still icing and still elevating as much as I can, I am still using my night splint. That's still been very, very helpful. I found that like using the night splint without having like a sock underneath is still kind of painful because it'll like dig into my skin. So I use just a normal like a long sock, not a compression sock when I'm sleeping, and then I put the night splint over top of it, and that has been working really, really well, and I've been able to sleep throughout the entire night without feeling like I gotta rip that thing off. So that's been wonderful. Some other things we did in therapy this week that were kind of challenging but not terrible were like some rotational exercises. So we did like some cross body, you know, single leg RDLs. We also did some like pal-off presses in a single leg position. So like the cable was trying to like pull me to the side, and I was really having to stabilize and pull against it. So my foot wanted to go into rotation, and I had to do like an anti-rotation sort of exercise. We did a lot of like single leg step ups. We did some step downs. I can actually like put weight through my back foot now when my like hurt foot is back. So when I was doing a lunge like a couple weeks ago, my left leg is the one my hurt leg. So if I was doing a left-legged lunge, so like my left leg was forward, it was really no problem at all. But the moment that I put my left leg back and I was like loading my big toe into extension and loading that Achilles into dorsiflexion too, that was really scary. I would say that I was really apprehensive to do that, and it just didn't feel super comfortable. But now I feel like I can actually do those sort of movements, and it's just because we've been loading my big toe more and more, and being able to tolerate more means that I feel more confident doing more. So that's been going really well. Dorsiflexion's been going pretty well. I was reading up on the Facebook support group. There's a lot of people that say like, you don't want to heel too short or you don't want to heel too long. And what that means, I guess, is if you heel too long is that you worked on dorsiflexion too early, and so you push things a little bit too fast. And that means that like now your Achilles is lengthened, and obviously we know that either a lengthened tissue or a shortened tissue is not the same as a strong tissue, right? More of like that mid-range is where our tendons, our tissues are strongest. So you don't want to heel short and you don't want to heel long, but everyone says that if you're gonna pick one, you should heel short, and then because you can always work on gaining your range of motion back eventually. So I've been really kind of cutting back a little bit on pushing my dorsiflexion. I just let it go kind of where it wants to go, and I'm not really forcing it to go much further because I don't want to, especially in this phase that I'm currently in, I don't want to push it too hard too fast, and I don't want to do more damage in the long run because I'm still very early on in this recovery, and there's a long road ahead of me, and I want to make sure that my tissue is healing as best as it can. Oh, some other exciting stuff that I can finally do. So I can ankle dance. This is the first week that I've been actually able to do some ankle dancing. So ankle dancing is kind of like where you like move your feet in different positions, and you grab the ground and like pull yourself forward. So it works a lot on toe strengthening, and it's something that I used to do all the time, and I used to give patients all the time, and I haven't been able to do it until this week. So that was exciting. And then another exciting thing is that, you know, with toe scrunching more often these days, I was actually able to toe scrunch with some weight this week, and the weight was my dog Pepper. She decided to sit on my towel and make me work a little bit harder, and it worked really well because I was actually able to do it. So I can towel scrunch with probably like 7 pounds now. So that's good. I figured out a couple new ways to work on single leg calf raises. So you'll see right here, I kind of hooked up a strap 2 power bands from like a rack or a pull-up bar, and I put them under my other knee to offload my injured side, and I could do some single leg calf raises that way. I'm trying to find more and more ways to figure out how to do calf raises, because I know that that movement pattern is going to be weakest for a very long time. People, mention that they don't get a single leg calf raise back for 9 months, a year, sometimes even longer than that. So I want to try to like make sure I get that strength back as quickly as possible, and that just means doing that movement as much as possible. I am still doing BFR, so blood flow restriction training. I'm kind of bumping that up. I'm doing calf raises with it. I'm also doing seated calf raises with it, so to work the soleus. I'm also doing squats and RDLs, so some bigger compound movements to kind of get more activation and more fatigue, and to stimulate that hypertrophy a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's mostly it for this week. So therapy is going well. Like I said, I'm transitioning into shoes, and hopefully going to be transitioning into more tennis shoes next week, depending on how I feel. I did talk to my physical therapist, Megan, and she is encouraging me to elevate my leg more often throughout the day, which is not a bad idea, and I really should try to find ways to do that, because especially near the end of the week or the end of my days, everything just gets very swollen, and every single time that my incision opens, that means that it's going to be that much longer until I can, get it worked on, because she can't even touch it right now because it's just keeps opening. So I really want her to be able to work on reducing some of that tendon thickness, and there's no possible way that she can even touch it until everything is fully healed. So I'm going to do my best this next week to really elevate my leg as much as I can, and to ice it frequently throughout the day just to keep that swelling down, so then things don't open up, and hopefully she can work on it soon. But yeah, anyways, if you guys have any questions, let me know. This is week 7 of my recovery journey, and everything's going well so far. I am definitely way ahead of schedule, especially with like already, walking in shoes. So if you guys have any questions about that, drop them below. Make sure you guys subscribe, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.